This is Kevin. I am here with Dusty Nelson from Atomic Learning. And if you don't know, Atomic Learning is one of the best kept secrets we have on campus. It is a video library full of all kinds of useful training videos for students. So without further ado, let me hand you over to Dusty, and he's going to talk for a while.
All right, thanks, Kevin. And thanks for everyone to take your time to learn a little bit more about Atomic Learning at DBU. Atomic Learning started actually about 16 years ago with a group of instructors and a group of staff members. They constantly were getting questions after questions, the same questions over and over. So they wanted to build a resource where faculty members and staff members and students could go to learn their quick answers and move on with their day. They wouldn't have to sit through an entire 2-hour video to find that one answer. And they also could find it really quickly. They won't have to wait in line. They wouldn't have to send in that help desk ticket. They could proactively find it and move on with their day. So that's kind of the start of Atomic Learning. And then we've always just stayed in the education realm. Moving forward, and we'll continue to move forward, is that our focus is on education. And that's where things will continue to stay. So as we kind of go through today, you'll see that there's a lot of content there that's really focused, some focused on students, some focused on staff, and some that are focused on faculty. And we'll hit on a lot of the new content as we go through. And you don't know what you don't know. It's hard to know what Atomic Learning has, especially over the last year. We've really expanded our library. So probably the best way to see what new content is out there is through our new Discover tab, which is up on the screen now. So once you log in through Atomic Learning, whether that's through Blackboard or there's another link in the DBU site there, that'll get you to Atomic Learning as well. But once you're in there, the first page that you'll get is this new Discover tab with 8 different topics on there that will kind of give you an idea of what's available. So if there's a few topics that are really relevant to you, you can start clicking on certain ones. Maybe college career readiness for your students is an important topic, and then maybe instructor tools for yourself. How can you enhance your course? So it gives you a list of the newest and most popular content based on those topics. So there's some interesting series that are out there that might apply to your course or apply to your learning, or maybe you want to supplementally put some content out there for your students to have that better presentation, or for you yourself in learning how the multiple intelligence theory works. So there's a lot of content out there that you may not realize that Atomic Learning has. So it's just kind of a fun way to explore and discover new things that are out there. But some of the newer things that I want to point out to you that you might want to start using right away under our search tab here, and kind of break it down into 3 sections for you. The first topic that I'm going to point out is the career skills. And this might be an area I think we all find ourselves being in more or less some sort of mentor capacity, or helping students out, advising students in various things. And I think a lot of faculty members especially get a lot of those questions of kind of that job side of things. What do I need to do for my job? How can I proceed in that? So this might be an area that you can actually point students to, and whether it's a communication tune-up. I think that's the #1 thing employers are looking for these days, is good communication skills. So being able to help them through there. Becoming a better public speaker. Maybe that's even for your course. Maybe you just want to put out there, or you find a student that's struggling a little bit with their public speaking. Maybe it's something you can send them quick and say, hey, here you go, here's a little best practice thing for you to brush up on. So there's all kinds of career skills, and that's an area that will continue to grow within Atomic Learning. And you're going to notice a lot of what I'm showing today may not be what you thought of Atomic Learning has. Atomic Learning used to be known for just how-to training, and so today you're going to see a lot of other kinds of training along that conceptual, pedagogical, career-building content. So career skills is that area that will continue to grow over time. Another area that's also in here that we want to point out is for college success content. I'm really trying to help those students become better in their courses. So to expand the list here, a few that might pop out for you: better test taking, better note taking. Those are certainly skills that students need as they come into college, whether they're traditional students or non-traditional students. Anytime you come back onto the classroom, it helps to get that little bit of reassurance and get that skills back up there. Or if they are brand new students, maybe managing money, managing time, going through and really getting those skills built up to really have that full higher education experience. So you can see there's overcoming test anxiety. So again, maybe something that you want to put out to your students that you see are struggling with when they take tests. All kinds of content that can really help a student, again, whether they're traditional or non-traditional, be supported in college and through their college careers. And kind of the third part that I want to point out today is actually under our all categories filter, and that's our workshops. And these tend to be more conceptual or pedagogical trainings. So you're going to see some things in here that are more directed towards faculty, more directed towards students. As we go through the list, APA, maybe you're tired of always having to explain APA in the classroom, so you could actually pull that out of the classroom a little bit and have students look at some content through there. Or maybe you just want to put it out there and say, hey, you have a paper due. And we all know students write papers at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's hard to find resources at that time of the night, especially when your writing center is not open, your help desk may not be open. So it's a good resource for them to go to as they're waiting and getting things done at the very end. A few other ones that might be in here of interest, being an effective online student. Having so many students online these days, that might be a resource for them to go to if they're struggling or if they are interested in taking online courses but haven't done it in the past. Maybe it's a series for them to look at and go through and determine if they actually want to take those online courses. I think you can see some more on the pedagogical side too, creating engaging lessons online, effective online discussions. I think we've all been in that footprint where discussions just are not very effective, but it's a necessary part of the learning piece. There's collaboration involved, so having those online discussions, effective online discussions, can be a real great piece to the learning experience for users.
I noticed that training is 2 hours long, so it's quite a bit of content.
Yes, yeah, and you'll see that over on the right side there, just like Kevin pointed out there. It does give you the number of tutorials and the total time. So if there's something, if you're trying to pre-plan and go, well, I have a half hour in my day, maybe I can watch this asking essential questions, or you can kind of pre-plan based on the list that's there. Those are kind of some of the new areas of atomic learning that are available now to you guys that you can just log in and you can start looking at that content. And there might be some of that content that you're looking at and went, yep, that's content that I really want to use in my course. DBU actually has integration capabilities with Atomic Learning, so you can actually start pulling that content directly into your Blackboard course. And Kevin was nice enough to create a course for me, so this is my example course here. So I can actually start building some content if I want to start pulling that in. And a little known piece of this integration is that you can actually tie it back to the Grade Center. So you can actually see that users finished that training or went through that training. So let's go ahead and just walk through one here. So I want to build my content, and under Mashups is the Atomic Learning tool. So I can click on that. And then we can go ahead and give it a name. So maybe I do want to pull in that, we'll pull in the note-taking. We'll just call it note-taking for now. So I want to pull in that content for my course. I want to make sure that they have good note-taking skills. The next section down is to tie to the Grade Center. You certainly don't have to tie to the Grade Center, but if you want some accountability for your students, maybe you want to put a couple points on there. So it does default to 100 points. Maybe you want to just put 10 points on there. Make sure that students go through there, make them a little more accountable to go through that training. And you guys are going to be far more experts in Blackboard than I am, so I skip over some of these pieces that I don't know. And I just go right to my select training. And if you're used to the Atomic Learning site, you're going to notice that we took the search feature right off our site and put it into Blackboard for you. So if you want to pull content in your Blackboard course, you actually don't have to go to the site itself. Everything can be done right within Blackboard for you. So I can go ahead and type in my search. And there's my How Do I Become a Good Note Taker series that I want to pull in. So now I can pick and choose the ones that I think will fit best for my course. Or if I want to, I can check all of them. Then I can preview my selection. And now this is basically what a student is going to see. As soon as they click on that item that we just created, this is exactly what they're going to see. They won't see the back or submit button, but as soon as they click on that video, it's going to start playing right within Blackboard for the user. It's kind of nice to keep their attention as long as possible. I know as a student a few years ago, anytime you open a new tab or another window, for some reason they made a connection that I could go to Facebook. So keeping everything focused and in Blackboard as long as you can is a really big benefit for the students. So if everything looks good, I can hit submit. It says I'm successful. I go back to my course. And there is my content that I just pulled in. Again, student clicks on it, they're brought right to that playlist.
Does it show you how much of the videos the students have watched, or can you get any reports on that?
Yeah, so the admins on the Atomic Learning site can actually pull some reports. With the integration piece, you would have the option to keep an eye on the gradebook to see when they finished that item. But the reporting is mostly done on the Atomic Learning site. Good question.
Okay. Is there any particular training that you guys have coming out in the near future?
Yeah, if you guys are ever interested in knowing kind of some of the new content that's coming out, there's a few places you can look. If I go back to the site here, one way you can do that is if you scroll to the very bottom, and over on the right side there is a link to our blog, which has a bunch of information. But I just want to point out just one little area here, and that's under the What's Hot. So if I go here, it's going to show you some of the new content that just came out. And if I scroll a little bit further, it's going to tell you some of the new content that will be coming out. It's a real small snapshot of what's coming out. In fact, I believe this Critical Thinking series is already available on our site. But it gives you just that quick little snapshot of content that you'd like to see. And then if you are going through the site and you go, hey, I'd really like to see this information, and I don't see that it's coming out soon, but I still would like to give the feedback, you can certainly give that feedback to me. And you can actually just reach out to customer service, and that will get funneled to me at some point. The other way that you can do that is through our, we have a think tank, which is ideas.atomiclearning.com. And this is a great way to share your ideas, not just content-wise, but maybe feature-wise. And you see, hey, you guys really would benefit from having this particular button or this particular feature. So you can see our #1 idea is badges. So if you have a strong feeling about badges, go ahead and go in there and upvote, downvote, put a comment out there. This is a great way to have that direct contact with our product owners, the ones that are making those priorities and creating the content and creating the roadmaps for us. So it's a great way to have that direct communication with them.
Wasn't some of your content actually developed by your end users? Users that like to see a video on this and actually made it themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of two different ways to look at that. If I go back to the Discover tab here, this Critical Thinking series was actually developed by a university in North Dakota. They actually created it for us. We partnered with them. They had a subject matter expert on campus that really wanted to create that content. So we did create that, or they created it for us and we put it on our site. So we did have some partnership that way. The other way is maybe you've already created your own content and you just want it available to your course, or maybe you want to share things within your department. DBU has this, and it doesn't say Dusty's Atomic or Dusty's Awesome Training on your stuff, but this is kind of an area. Yeah, yeah. So this is a kind of a training area that you can actually create your own content, and you can work with Kevin, I think, to possibly create that content or get the admin role on your account. But these are all series that I've created in my own instance. So
we've done some of the staff trainings. We've put a few videos in there, but not a lot yet.
Sure. Let me log back in here. There we go. So if I click on my custom course here, this is something that I just created through Together. So I can put my different sections in there, and I can put as many sections on there as I want. This has worked out really well for some of that collaboration that I spoke of earlier. To have that collaboration, and we have one institution out east, it almost pains me to say this, but they were using a VHS tape, and they were passing it from faculty member to faculty member to show their students that content. Well, they ended up getting the rights to it, so they actually uploaded it into Atomic Learning. Well, now the best part about that is any faculty member can use it at any time. Students can view it at any time. and they can also pull it into their Blackboard course. So it's really became much more accessible for their students to get that video instead of having that one VHS tape that they passed around. We have another institution, they have a statistics course, or a statistics program, and so a lot of different faculty members were using kind of the same information. So what they did was they collaborated and created one, I think they called it Excel 2016 Statistical Analysis, and so they pulled in some Atomic Learning content along with content that they've already created. So now everyone has access to that series. And again, it goes back to that collaboration of anyone can use it at any time, and it's getting the information out that they want. And everything ties back to reporting. So they can see who actually viewed it, who's not using it, and make some decisions moving forward. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, and some of this might be good to use in the first 4 weeks of class. At DBU, we require that even the traditional classes have one of their class sessions online in the first 4 weeks. I know there's a lot of professors out there kind of wondering what they're going to do for their online meeting. And Atomic Learning video might be a good way to start. Having the students watch something on MLA or how to be a good online student or something along those lines, yeah. And they can trace back into the Grade Center. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we have one institution, again in North Dakota, all of their online courses are linked to the Avoiding Plagiarism series. They had an issue with students plagiarizing in the past. So what they did was they just linked out plagiarism into every series. It gave the administration a little bit of backing too. If they did catch a student plagiarizing, the student couldn't just say, well, you didn't provide training on it. It's linked in every one of their courses. So now the administration has a little more backing and say, well, the training was there. So you have no reason that you plagiarized. So there's certainly ways that can be used either on that supplemental level or required level, all kinds of different fashions. And students can certainly use it as a personal development too. Doesn't have to be all professional, educational. If maybe they're taking a vacation, they can certainly watch some Google Maps training and have a more effective, efficient vacation if they wanted to.
I'm sure they would too, yeah.
Yeah, not to mention spring breaks are all part of that.
Yeah, and there's also do we point out that there's also a link to Atomic Learning on the front page of Blackboard, right as you log in? Yeah, if you go back to, click on the My DBU tab, and over there on the left is the link to Atomic Learning if you just want to go in there and peruse it. Log me right in. Do you have anything else, Dusty, that you want to point out, or anything else you want to say to everyone? No, I think we covered a lot of the new content that will be coming out. I guess a kind of a sneak peek in the future a little bit more towards Atomic Learning is kind of our new learning module pieces. This is more of an interactive learning way for users to view. Still kind of being slowly rolled out. We rolled out a few series, but we'll continue to grow here. So you can see this looks a little bit different from a traditional Atomic Learning series. And it is taking that outcome-based approach, so you can see that the outcomes are listed right there on that first page, so users can start getting in mind of what they want to achieve, what they want to learn through that learning module. And then we kind of broke it down into 4 sections: learn it, do it, share it, improve it. Learn it to what you're used to with Atomic Learning. Different sections, the different videos are all part of there. The do it activity is an activity that the users can start putting into place for their own knowledge of what they want to take from the learners and how they can start applying it to their own life, their own position, their own job, their own educational career. So it's an actual activity. And then the share it is an area where that collaboration comes into play again. So you can actually upload it into the Atomic Learning community, see what other people have done, and get some best practices and start learning how other people are learning through that learning topic and engaging in that learning topic. And then finally, the prove it piece, a way to be able to put a number on how much did you retain in that learning topic. Make sure that you did learn those outcomes that were listed there on that first page. So you'll probably see more information down the road regarding this new learning module. But this kind of, if you have any feedback, please feel free to share. We're always looking for that information, and if you want to put that on the think tank, you can. If you want to provide that to myself,
feel free. Otherwise, I do meet with Kevin periodically, so he can certainly forward that information on as well. Yeah, I think that's all I really had to show, Kevin. Is there anything else that you have questions for?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything. So yeah, very good.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for taking time out of your day to talk to us, Dusty, and maybe we'll have you back sometime.
All right. So, hey, if you want me on campus, I'd love to be down there.
It's a little warmer down here than it is up there.
This is true. Maybe have me come during the winter.
Yeah, there we go. All right.